Thank you, ma'am.
The UCLA School of Nursing, Asian Pacific Islander Nursing Students and Alumni Association, also known as APINSA, was established back in fall of 2018 after sensing a need to create a community for 25% of our nursing student population who identify as Asian or Pacific Islander. However, our organization is not exclusive to API nursing students. It is open to any nursing student who not only identify as Asian Pacific Islander, but also who are interested to learn the culture of API and how it influences API nursing students' work ethics. Our vision is to inspire and develop the best healthcare leaders within the Asian and Pacific
Okay. Sorry about that.
Islander community, while our mission is to support our Asian Pacific Islander nursing students and alumni within the UCLA School of Nursing through community, engagement, scholarship, and service. We welcome all and assist nursing students with their transition to the university, the School of Nursing, and the UCLA community. We foster fellowship, unity, and camaraderie among API nursing students and alumni. We foster supportive relationships among all nursing students in the pursuit of academic and professional success. We promote and encourage collaborative activities with the local professional API associations and other UCLA nursing student associations. Our members and officers include pre-licensure students in the BSN and MECAN cohorts. Other students also include our APRN and DNP cohorts. We all come from diverse backgrounds and have a common connection to our Asian and/or Pacific Islander roots. Our faculty advisors include Dr. Emma Cuenca and Professor Glenda Totten. In October 2020, we held our annual APINSA Fall Welcome. Although this year we had to do things differently through Zoom, we saw a wonderful turnout for new, returning, and alumni members. We started the night by introducing the organization's board members, our values and mission, and we also held a trivia event. Raffles were sprinkled throughout the meeting with a grand prize at the end. Our next events include the Lunar New Year, which will include small raffles, cultural medical case studies, and fun games through Zoom. In the works are MEC and APRN student panels and scholarships. Come join us via Zoom on February 19th at 5:30 p.m. to celebrate Lunar New Year. Thank you.
The next group we have up after APINSA is Broad Spectrum. I believe Ernesto is in charge of that.
Thank you, Professor Hamilton. Sorry, give me one second. Make sure everybody can see that. Okay. Hi, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Ernesto, and I am the treasurer for Broad Spectrum, and I'm honored to be able to share this wonderful day with you all today and see all your wonderful faces. So just a little bit about Broad Spectrum. We're going to talk about just to show you guys the founders of who established the organization, who we are, the statement of purpose, the mission, and some membership information, and then some planning that we have usually throughout the year, which will kind of varies because of the COVID pandemic. So these are the founders. So we have Benjamin Kaipiopa was the founder and vice president. Shelby Wickman was the founder and president. Shavana Rogers was the engagement ambassador. And these three found that there needed to be more support for our LGBT and plus and peers. So they founded this club to try to help alleviate some of that tension or some of that stress, to give them an open space. So this is our statement of purpose. So the Broad Spectrum is a social support network for LGBTQIA+ students and allies. Broad Spectrum strives to promote education and understanding of the culture and issues within the LGBTQIA+ community, with focus on inclusive, culture-sensitive nursing environment. I am so sorry. If you could just give me 1 second. Sorry, my dog is running around everywhere and making a noise. Okay, so the mission statement. So Broad Spectrum works towards more inclusive and accepting environment for LGBTQIA plus students, faculty, and patients through education, support, and social action and advocacy. We do have this wonderful, wonderful education seminar that's gonna that I'll bring up later today. I just don't have the full information, but I would want to share that with you. So it's a wonderful opportunity from a great nurse that I hope we can all attend and learn a lot from. Broad Spectrum performs a platform for students to advocate the need for LGBTQIA plus patients through equality in nursing care, because we do see that there are some faults within the healthcare system and having to advocate for those that need a little bit more support. So Broad Spectrum fosters a greater sense of community for LGBTQIA identified students, faculty, and allies within SON, between SON and broader UCLA student body through education, outreach, and community service. And these are some of the things that we as a group do. So we have community at SON, like social events, peer support. We really want to have that support for one another because we know all the stresses that nurses are going through, and we want to alleviate as much as we can by having this hopefully very warm and welcoming environment for everyone. There's education, like I mentioned, we have great workshop, some guest lectures that are really amazing and can really share their profession and give some advice and probably kind of motivate some of our nurses to go into healthcare related to the LGBTQIA plus community. And we also talk about like sustainability for like maybe talking about some policies and just like kind of getting our minds working on how we can really help this community. We do some activism and outreach. So there's volunteer opportunities and collaborations within and outside UCLA. We do work with men in nursing. And I know sometimes we've in the past have collaborated with Lanza as well, but open to all kinds of collaboration. And then if people want to sign up, it's free to join, and you do learn a lot about the LGBTQIA plus issues. Will allow you to better meet the needs of your patients, friends, and colleagues. And that's it. And then we also have an Instagram and Facebook if anybody's willing to hop on in there. We always have some events and more than happy to share other events as well to our members. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Ernesto. Great job. Next up, we have Cecilia. Cecilia, I'll let you introduce your group.
Yes. Hello. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And then I'll go ahead and just drag over here.
Can I just add that Ernesto and Cecilia are on the Council for Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, which we really do appreciate their participation as student reps, elected student reps.
Oh, thank you. All right. Yeah. So my name is Cecilia Jardon. I go by Ceci or Cici. And so I'm here as a representative for Lanza. I'm currently a board intern, and it's actually my first year joining Lanza, and I love it already. So I'm glad to be representing it. So Lanza UCLA, they're UCLA nursing students and nurses dedicated to advancing the health of understanding communities through advocacy, education, and community involvement. So who we are. So since our initiation in 2017, Lanza has been working diligently to host student meetings, social events, collaborate with outside organizations that share our mission, and raise awareness regarding the needs of our Latinx communities. So we contribute towards nursing leadership, representation at UCLA School of Nursing, and assist in identifying facilitators and barriers to quality education for Latino students and nurses. So some events that are hosted by Lanza are, well, these were hosted before COVID-19, unfortunately now not as many, but there was like coffee socials to meet officers and members. You can socialize and get to meet the Lanza board. Another event is known as the Una Plática con Lanza. So some nursing school tips 101, you get to learn about Lanza, and also a safe space to ask questions regarding nursing school. As we know, nursing school can be tough. And so when you have some friends and like some people to vent to, just like, I have an upcoming test I don't know how to study, and you get some study tips through there. As well as a support system. We also have our, one of the events that I enjoy the most, I actually participated via Zoom, was Dia de los Muertos. So it's where we honor our loved ones, also known as Day of the Dead. And we share pictures and traditions and kind of just get to talk about our loved ones and that we miss them a lot. And another is our mentor mentee program. So you kind of connect like the upperclassmen and lowerclassmen, and just a way is to kind of ask each other questions and how to be able to survive nursing school and prepare for the NCLEX and then eventually get a job as a nurse. And we share our nursing experiences and network with others. So here are some pictures that I have from Lanza. This is, I believe, last year. So here's Laura. She's one of, she's part of the board, and also Professor Canobio is one of our faculties. And this is the Dia de los Muertos, so Day of the Dead. They put something up in front of the school nursing. So it's kind of nice. You enter and you get to see a little taste of Lanza and then people honoring those who have passed away. And then this is an event that Lanza had. So some hot Cheetos with, I believe it's cheese. I guess a lot of young ones like us like to eat that. It tastes good. And this was our last event. It was via Zoom, and it was Dia de los Muertos. It was a lot of fun. And so if anyone is interested in joining Lanza, you can become a member or participate in our events. So if you do, here's our mailing list, and as well as Facebook and Instagram. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you.
Thank you, Cecilia. We will now have an unexpected but welcomed guest, which will be Armand, who will present to us for Men in Nursing.
Hello, everyone. My name is Armand, and sorry, can you see me? Hello, everyone. My name is Armand. I'm the president of Men in Nursing at UCLA, and I would like to tell you a little bit more about our team. I'm going to share the screen. So the first thing that you see is our constitution, and the primary mission of our organization is the primary mission of the chapter is to be the acknowledged UCLA organization for men in nursing. The purpose of our organization is, this organization is to provide a framework for nurses as a group to meet, discuss, and influence factors which affect men as nurses and nursing students. I would like you to take a look at couple of objectives that we have, and I would like to emphasize something like support men who are nurses or nursing students or grow professionally and demonstrate to each other and to society the increasing contribution made by men within the nursing profession. For example, also our objective is advocate for continuing research, education, in dissemination of information about men's health issue, men in nursing, and nursing knowledge at the local and national levels. Also, we encourage member excellence in academia and involvement in social and services activity, provide role model and foster the development of leaders, and support members' full participation in the nursing profession and its organizations, and use the chapter for the limited objectives stated above. So right now, to tell you a little bit more what we do, can you see our social media page? Okay, so this is our Instagram page. We are very glad that within the last 1.5 years, we increased our followers from 0 to 404 so far. So let me tell you what we do. We very often, we communicate with our alumni, and we always tell story to our members, how our alumni are and stuff like that. So this is, if you can see, this is Helen. She actually happened to be the first nurse in Los Angeles, California, who received the vaccine. So she's on our page, and we are very glad that she was my personal teacher assistant for my for my fundamentals class in laboratory, which was so cool. So what else we do? So this is, as was said before, we collaborate with the student organization at UCLA. And for me, as a president of Men in Nursing, it is very important to collaborate with every team that we have on our school. We collaborated in this specific Thanksgiving food drive. We collaborated with ATD, with nursing students at UCLA, and Broad Spectrum. We organized together Thanksgiving food drive, which was extremely successful. Also, what we do, we provide some interesting competition for our students, and this is sorry. So, and this was our turkey coloring contest that we decided to make as like once a year. It is going to be an annual consent. So also we present once a month, member of the month. We ask them the questions: how are they doing right now? What's going on with COVID, or how their life is, and stuff like that. Also, once a month we have a spotlight. That spotlight dedicated to men in nursing who are not across, who are in different countries. Like, for example, in this case, it was Dominic Semler who was telling us his story about how he's working during this COVID-19 and how it is going in Germany. Months before, that was Alvarado Maturano, who is, I believe, unfortunately, it doesn't say where he's from. So another, and as you can see, we have all men in nursing around the world who are involved in our organization to help to bring more awareness about men in nursing. This is how men in nursing and different organizations from School of Nursing are organized together, and we support Black Lives Matter movement. And we had such fun with our group participating in one of those peaceful and very safe march. So if you can see, this is our members. And I also need to mention quickly that our men in nursing group, it is not just about students who are at UCLA. We are also welcome very much students who are doing pre-nursing and stuff like that. And for example, one of our members, who is right now student and Meccan 1, he joined us a year ago before he even applied for UCLA School of Nursing. And he was our member. And our group is open to everything. We are trying to communicate with our members and to bring more awareness about men in nursing at UCLA. We volunteer a lot. Yes, I guess I'm not a good speaker, but that's all I guess I would like to tell you about us.
Thank
And
you.
please, if you have any questions,
so
just ask
much.
me.
We appreciate it. Next, we have a video, which I will share the screen. If I can get the screen back, please, from Sharday Young. She is the Vice President of PANSA.
Hello, my name is Sharday, and I am the Vice President of the Pan-African Nursing Student and Alumni Association here at UCLA, also commonly known as PANSA. So, attending UCLA, a world-class medical center and institution, was always a dream of mine. This dream was further intensified over 3 years ago when I became a member of the UCLA's PANSA's organization, as well as attended multiple nursing graduations. These experiences inspired me to pursue the opportunity that I now have the honor of being in, a first-year master's entry clinical nursing student. Wow, what a dream, right? The welcoming spirit and support of nurses and previous Meccan and BSN students intensified my love for UCLA. With the community support within PANSA, I knew that I belonged here. Furthermore, PANSA is an organization that provides assistance in academic and social contexts to help develop and inspire enrolled and prospective nursing students to achieve health, wellness, and success here at UCLA School of Nursing. In PANSA, we participate in many community service projects, which help us students better connect with our community and ultimately become better nurses in the future. PANSA is an incredible community here at UCLA that I'm so proud and honored to be a part of. So that pretty much sums up PANSA here, and I'm just happy to be the vice president, and I'm just happy to be a part of such an amazing community, such a supportive community here at UCLA. Now, I know we're speaking of different cultures. I am African American, and a part of my culture and my heritage is the gumbo dish. Gumbo is kind of like a soup or stew, and it's really popular in the African American household. It originated, I believe, from New Orleans, Louisiana, and it's kind of like a Cajun Creole dish. But like I said before, it's a very popular dish in my family, and it's something that we all look forward to every holiday season. Thank you.
Thank you, members of Panza. Awesome. So you know what? That's a great transition because guess what? It's your time to share your cultural dishes, your cultural favorite things. And so now it's audience participation time. So who would like to go first? Okay, this is not the time to be shy, y'all. We can see you. So someone just raise a hand, decide to share. Nobody? Okay, I see Antoinette. Thank you so much. Let me unmute you, my dog. Oh, you're unmuted. Go ahead.
Well, I originally from Detroit, and I am Anita's cousin, first cousin, and I bake, and I love to bake sweet potato pies. That is something that's my cultural love, and that's I make it very good.
Thank you for sharing.
She said very good, but she meant excellent on a scale of 1 to 10.
That's awesome. Who's next? Okay. I mean, I can just start picking people. You know, that's what happens when you get to be, you know, the mistress.
I'll volunteer.
Okay, go ahead.
Hi, everyone. So my family's Central American, and a lot of the dishes are Caribbean and kind of not really spicy, but I before I changed like some of my favorite dishes, I really liked cowfoot soup. And once I stopped eating meat, it was one of the dishes that I missed the most, and it's a very like it's like comfort food for me and my family. And then we also like pupusas, and my grandmother still makes them and tamales. So those are kind of some of the foods that we enjoy eating.
Thank you for sharing. Anyone else? So I'm gonna start picking. Brittany, I'm coming for you, sweet pea. Since you're president, Panza, you get to go.
Yes. Hello, hello. It's been awesome hearing about everyone's culture. I'm the president of Panza. Oh, there's so many good things in our culture. I'm African American. Let me think. We in our culture we do a cookout. Maybe you guys have heard about it. It's where everybody comes together from all over. We get together, we cook really good food like Sade talked about, gumbo, everything, cornbread, good chicken, greens, all the good stuff that you guys hear about. I miss it with COVID. Obviously we can't do that, but yeah, you all are welcome to the cookout. You've got your invite.
Thank you, Brittany. Mr. Kevin Tyler, you're the newest one to the School of Nursing community. Yes, this is what happens when I get to hold the mic. You're up next.
I had a feeling this is going to happen. So, you know, culturally, I have a long-term kind of passion project, and that is working on our family lineage. And I found over the last couple of years that dating back to I think the late 1700s, everyone in my family was able to write and read, which was not typical of the times. And we all lived in the North. I come from a lineage of teachers, which I think is pretty interesting. And in terms of cultural traditions, it is all about recipes. So the recipes in my family are passed down gently from person to person, typically the mothers, but my dad couldn't cook, so we'll just leave it at that. And that's how we pass culture and history to each other, is through my grandmother's biscuits or my mom's fried chicken recipe, and that's how we celebrate our culture.
Thank you so much. If no one raised their hand, I have somebody else in the queue. Oh, there goes it. Dr. BBJ, can you share with us, please?
Okay, so does it have to be culture, or can it just be the fact that you love cookies and sweets?
Go with the cookies and sweets.
So I believe that really cookies and particularly cupcakes should actually be their own separate food group, so that we could have as many as we want. And so if you've ever been in my office, you know that in Dr. BBJ's snack cart, I always have cookies. And perhaps the best story about that is when I did the volunteer work at Haiti. There was no food, we ran out of water. So of course, you know, as a nurse, you give your food to the patients. So for 8 days, I lived on one of those small sleeves of Oreos. And so that's kind of a standing joke in my family, is that, you know, if mom's acting crabby, give her an Oreo and she'll perk up.
That works. I see a lot of people identifying with that. I still see no hand. Dr. Amy Lohman, I see you on the screen. Can you share with us?
Well, culturally, I don't have anything all that exciting, but I lived in Mexico City for part of my life. I speak Spanish fluently, and I love all things Mexican culture. I've traveled more in Mexico than I have probably the United States. I love Dia de los Muertos. I love getting to know the culture and how it relates to the language I speak. My husband and I got married in Mexico. So I kind of veer towards that culturally more than I do my own kind of Valley girl culture.
Well, we are all love cultures. I am scanning through the tiles that I have here of lovely people, and I don't see a hand raised yet. Oh, Shelly Shepherd, yay! She saved the next person. You're on mute, darling.
Sorry about that. I'm of Scottish descent and I lived in Scotland. So we just celebrated Burns Night. If you are familiar with that, that's where we celebrate Scotland's favorite poet, Robbie Burns. And we put our kilts on and we have a wee nip of whiskey and eat haggis.
Oh yeah.
Which you cannot get a good one in this country, but on a cold, cold Scottish night, it tastes delicious.
Nice. Thank you. Anyone else wants to go ahead and volunteer rather than me picking? I'm good at this. I got tiles everywhere. I can pick. Mark Coven, let's take you.
Yeah, it's funny. I was going to raise my hand, but I might. Well, I'm sorry. I might be a little bit boring because my family culture is a little bit different. I'll try not to be long-winded, but I grew up vegetarian. My mother was Hare Krishna for a little while, so I pretty much grew up on Indian food, which I still love to this day. I am not vegetarian anymore. So I definitely made up for that. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. But as a family, pretty much what we do, my mom's still vegetarian, so she'll still kind of make her vegetarian dishes, even though she doesn't cook as much. But for us as a family, it's really gathering around the TV. If it's just like Thanksgiving, then we're watching football, or if it's Christmas, we're watching basketball. So that's pretty much what we do as a family, is we still eat our mother's cooking, even though it's vegetarian. And we just pretty much hang out as a family.
Thank you. I think Dr. Screen Jeffers would like to participate.
What is the question?
The question is, can you share with us how food has a cultural significance to you and your family? It could be a single dish. It could be more than one dish. It could be a time when you gather together. Because, you know, COVID right now, this is the best we can get.
Let's see. Well, definitely on holidays, that's when I cook what my son has termed Black people's mac and cheese, which you don't want to count any calories for because it has about 6 cheeses in it, sour cream, butter, macaroni, elbow macaroni. So when I cook that, you know, it's either Thanksgiving or Easter or Christmas. I don't tend to, you know, fatten us up all year long. So I would say the macaroni and cheese, all kinds of soul food. I love Jamaican food. But I'm pretty much the only one in my immediate family who will go in on the Jamaican food. But I think our family likes a lot of spices, and just flavorful meals.
Awesome. I have someone in the queue who's volunteered, Dr. Maria Elena Ruiz.
Oh, yeah, thank you. I have to say that when I first came to UCLA many years ago, they introduced me to some, and I grew up in Mexico and in Boyle Heights, which is now the epicenter in LA County for COVID. But when I came to UCLA, several people introduced me to all these faculty and students that had grown up in Boyle Heights. And it turns out that a close colleague, Don Nakanishi, who I went to high school with, developed the Asian American Studies department at UCLA. And he always laughed that he was Asian and Mexican because we all grew up in Boyle Heights. And it's fascinating when we talked about how we had the Latino community, the Asian, the Jewish, the Irish, the Russian. So we all grew up with bagels and Russian food and Chinese food along with Mexican food. But it just, you know, it was just a big smorgasbord of stuff. And when we were growing up, we didn't appreciate all that, but everything we have there. And at that time, when I was growing up, the older generation, I remember eating huevos and chorizo burritos for lunch, and we had to hide them because we were called names at that time. And now it's like, the more we share, and the more diverse, and the more we integrate things, the better. So I'm glad to be where we are now, where we can just experience so much, and we have a global community here.
That is fabulous. We like that history. I'm going to segue to my partner in crime when it comes to Everlane, and that would be Janet Kay. Everlane shopper extraordinaire along with Michelle Aranda, but I don't see her on here. So Janet, you get it.
Oh my gosh, when you said Everlane, I was like, no. Okay. People don't know Everlane maybe, but anyway. One thing I can think of is seaweed soup. I'm Korean.
I love it.
So we cook that for our loved ones for their birthday. And we also traditionally eat that after we have a baby. It's supposed to help with lactation, and it has a lot of calcium and iodine. So I think I ate seaweed soup for about 2 weeks straight, and I got tired of it real quick, but I guess it helped. I'm not sure really, but that's one of our traditional Korean foods we eat.
Thank you for sharing, buddy. I bought some more shoes, by the way. Now we've talked about the food, and usually after we eat, we should move. And so the person who's responsible for our movement in this virtual space together is Dr. Anita Braylock. Dr. Braylock, it's time to move. Help us dance.
All right, well, let's start with sharing my screen. All right, so this is where we're going to start. Just give me a second here. Okay, so can you see the full screen?
Yes, we can.
Perfect. Thank you very much. So I would like to thank everyone for attending our DEI event today. I would especially like to thank my cousin Net in Atlanta, Georgia, who cooks the best sweet potato pie. My niece Casey is in Detroit, Michigan. My best friend, a nurse, Gwen, is here from Los Angeles. My daughter Nyasha is driving from Utah. And then Rhonda is in Houston, Texas. And so I'd like to thank those people for attending. So I'm going to share about dance and Black culture. And I want to start by showing a picture of my husband, Cleveland. We are at a party. We frequently went ballroom dancing and line dancing before COVID. Starting in the 1500s, Black Africans brought their dances to North, Central, and South America and the Caribbean islands. Dance styles of hundreds of Black ethnic groups merged together to form the dances that we do today. Detroit, where I'm proudly from, was known for Black music and dancing. My mother and father were ballroom dancers at the Greystone back in the 40s and the 50s. And as you can see from this slide, Duke Ellington and his orchestra performed at the Greystone. Also famous was the Paradise, where Dizzy Gillespie and Ella Fitzgerald performed. And then in the 60s, the 20 Grand is where Motown stars performed. And everyone's heard of Motown, and Motown is originated from Detroit, home of the Detroit. We're always proud to be called Motown. So I have a trivia question. How many legends of Motown can you name? So I just want you to think about that for a second. Look at this slide that says Legends of Motown, and just think about who the legends are. Okay, so I know you got all of these right. The woman here in the middle is Diana Ross. We have Stevie Wonder. We have Marvin Gaye. We have Smokey Robinson and the Miracles. We also have the Jackson 5 and the Temptations. One very famous dance that came out of Detroit was the Temptation Walk. So the Temptations were a dance group who also, a singing group who also had a dance named after them called the Temptation Walk. And everyone in Detroit knew how to do the Temptation Walk. My favorite type of dance actually is the Lindy Hop. It's one of my favorites. You can go on YouTube and you can watch these videos for hours. The Lindy Hop, this dance that defined the swing era at the Savoy Ballroom in Harlem, New York, started in 1927. Most of these pictures are from the 1940s. The Lindy Hop was also called the Jitterbug and Swing Dance. The Savoy hosted lots of dance contests on Saturdays. And if you look at that flyer, you could see that there was a lot of segregation in the 40s, and they talk about colored and white teams. Black tap dancers. Tap dancing is something that we don't see a lot of as much now, but one of the most famous Black tap dancers was Bill Robinson. This is Bill Robinson up at the top right corner, and then this is Bill Robinson tap dancing on the steps. His nickname was Bojangles, and he was the first Black tap dancer, actor, and singer. So I have a trivia question, and if you want to unmute yourselves to answer, let's see who can answer this trivia question first. Who was Bojangles' most famous dance partner?
Shirley Temple.
That is correct, Shirley Temple. Bojangles danced with Shirley Temples back in 1935. She was a little girl back then, and he was, an adult man. But he acted in movies and he was very famous. You also might recognize Sammy Davis Jr. Those of you that are old enough to remember Sammy Davis Jr. as a part of the Rat Pack may have forgotten that he was also a very famous tap dancer, along with Gregory Hines. African-American dancer, director, choreographer, and activist who founded the Alvin Ailey American Dance Theater in 1958 is this man here, all right? All of these pictures at the top are Alvin Ailey. He actually was originally from Texas, and his family moved to Los Angeles in the mid-40s. He attended UCLA, our school, between 1948 and 1949. His modern dance company is still based in New York City. Although he has passed away, his dance troupe continues to perform around the world. Black Greek life. The founders of Black Greek organizations were made up of a small number of African Americans in early 20th century that attended colleges and universities. This dance uses clapping, and stomping, okay? So this is actually a form of dance. So this is a trivia question. Can you name the pledge with the letter G on his forehead in the picture? Who can name that person? Please unmute yourself and shout out.
Lee.
Spike Lee, absolutely. So Spike Lee, this was his movie School Days, which debuted February 12th, 1988. Very good. Soul Train. That's how you have to say that, okay? A music dance TV show first aired October 2nd, 1971. Had a 35-year run, aired over 1,100 episodes, and the creator and host, Don Cornelius. So this is a question for you all. How many of you watched Soul Train? How many of you danced down the Soul Train line?
I did.
Was that Sheila?
Yes.
Okay, so here's a trivia question. I want you to now look at the pictures that I have on the screen. Can you identify or point out the dancer who later created the moonwalk?
Yeah, Michael Jackson.
There you go. So Soul Train had many famous performers over the years. And so here you have the Jackson Five. This is Jermaine in the front, Michael, Jackie, Marlon, and Tito. Breakdancing, also called breaking and b-boying, an energetic form of dance popularized by African Americans and US Latinos in New York City during the late 60s and the early 70s. Breakdancing and hip hop are stylish footwork with athletic moves such as back spins and head spins. Now you can see some of these head spins, but please don't try this at home. So here's a trivia question, and this is a yes or no. Please shout out the answer if you know it. Is breakdancing an Olympic sport?
It will be.
Yes. It is now.
It is now.
It will be. It may break into the 2024. It may break into the 2024 Summer Olympic Games in Paris as a new sport. So you can look forward to that. Soul line dancing. Line dancing is a good form of exercise. Soul line dancing, like country line dancing, are choreographed dance moves that you do in a group without a partner. Soul music is R&B, hip hop, or soul music, and that's why we use the term soul line dancing, because that distinguishes it from the country line dancing, because this music is typically R&B and hip hop. And probably one of the most famous line dances is the electric slide. And this woman here, her name is Marcia Griffiths, and she's the one that sings the music or sings the song Electric Slide. So here's a trivia question. What is the largest line dance ever recorded? Does anyone know? Okay, so I'll give you the answer. The largest line dance ever recorded involved 18,431 participants, and it was done in China in 2015. The dance lasted 5 minutes and 22 seconds. However, they spent 6 months practicing so that they could dance in unison. So this last slide shows many famous Black dancers. There are 14 famous Black dancers. How many of you feel that you can name all 14 famous Black dancers? I'll give you a second to look at the pictures. So who thinks that they can name all 14 of these famous Black dancers? Who wants to take a stab at it? Sheila?
I don't know all 14, but I just want to give a shout out to the Nicholas brothers because I see them there. I learned about the Nicholas brothers in a history of dance class when I was at UC Santa Barbara, and they're just amazing. And I think they don't get as much credit as they really deserve. You guys should really check them out on YouTube.
Correct, correct. I mean, they have still for tap dancing. They were tap dancing and doing splits down the stairs, and no one's been able to replicate that. And that was probably done back in the 40s. Anyone else see anybody that they recognize?
I can name the bottom right box. That's Usher, Michael Jackson, and Chris Brown, I think.
Very good. And to this day, many people think that they're still three of the best dancers: Usher, Michael Jackson, and Chris Brown. Anyone else?
Right above Debbie
Oh,
Allen. Yeah.
Correct. That is Debbie Allen. And Debbie Allen is from Los Angeles. She's an actor, a dancer, and still owns her own studio. And she's responsible for the Black Nut Quack. I'm sorry. Help me with that. The Nutcracker. Every year she would have that performance. Anyone else?
Kevin says Savion Glover.
There you go. Famous tap dancer, Savion Glover. Anyone else?
James Brown.
James Brown, one of the best dancers, started in the 50s and the 60s. Anyone else?
Next,
Prince.
Dorothy
Dandridge.
That's Prince. Yes. And who, I'm sorry, what did you say?
Dorothy Dandridge. To the left corner, top left corner? No?
Josephine Baker.
Oh, Josephine Baker. Oops.
That is Josephine.
I'm retired.
That is Josephine Baker. Dorothy Dandridge was an actress, but Josephine Baker was more of the dancer. A few more.
Janet Jackson.
Janet Jackson.
That is Janet Jackson up at the top. Anyone else?
See Beyonce, Michelle, and Kelly.
There you see Beyonce, absolutely. Anyone else?
James Brown.
We said James Brown. There's three more.
Misty Copeland.
Misty Copeland. She is a famous Black ballerina. Okay, here's one down here at the bottom on the left. Who is that?
Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson.
He's on there twice.
He's on there twice. Absolutely. We only counted him once. So there is one more person that no one's named. Who is this lovely ballerina? So this is like Hidden Figures. Remember the movie Hidden Figures? And we didn't know about those women and their contributions to space. And so this is almost like Hidden Figures. Her name is Raven Wilkinson. She is the first Black woman to dance with a major ballet company. So very good. Thank you, everybody. So line dancing is lots of fun. So please join me. We're going to be doing the cha-cha slide featuring the Platinum Band. And the cha-cha slide is a pretty easy dance if you want to get up and join me, especially since DJ Casper is calling out the instructions. Now, this is a fact. Is this fact or fiction? This is a fact or fiction question. Last question. The cha-cha slide was written in 1996 as an aerobics workout program for a gym. It was later recorded and released as a song in 1998. Is that true or false? Anyone?
Armin says yes.
That is true. That is true. So that's what it started out as, an aerobic song. All right, so now we are going to spend the last 5 minutes actually dancing. And this is when we're going to get started. I know Dean Sarna has been looking forward to this part. So let me just.
I have some video of Dean Sarna too dancing.
Now just give me 1 second.
something new. The Casper Slide Part 2, featuring the Platinum Band. And this time, we're gonna get funky.
We need to run the sound through your computer.
All right, now, we're gonna do the basic step to the left. Take it back now, y'all. One hop this time. Right foot, let's stomp. Left foot, let's stomp. Cha-cha, real smooth. Turn it out. To the left. Take it back now, y'all. One hop this time. Left foot, let's stomp. Cha-cha now, y'all. Now it's time to get funky. To the left. Take it back now, y'all. One hop this time. One hop this time. Right foot, 2 stomps. Left foot, 2 stomps. Slide to the left. Slide to the right. Crisscross. Crisscross. Cha-cha, real smooth. Let's go to work. To the left. Take it back now, y'all. 2 hops this time. 2 hops this time. Right foot, 2 stomps. Left foot, 2 stomps. Hands on your knees. Hands on your knees. Get funky with it. Yes. Come on now, y'all. Cha-cha now, y'all. Turn it out.
Okay.
To the left. Take it back now, y'all. 5 hop this time. Right foot, let's stomp. Left foot, let's stomp. Right foot again. Left foot again. Right foot, let's stomp. Left foot, let's stomp. Freeze. Everybody clap your hands. Come on, y'all. Check it out, y'all. How low can you go? Can you go down low? All the way to the floor? How low can you go? Can you bring it to the top? Like you never ever stop? Can you bring it to the top? 1 hop. Right foot now. Left foot now, y'all. Cha-cha, real smooth. Turn it out.
Okay, that's enough.
Take it back now, y'all. 1 hop this time. 1 hop this time. Reverse. Reverse. Slide to the left. Slide to the right. Reverse, reverse. Reverse, reverse. Cha-cha now, y'all. Cha-cha again. Cha-cha now, y'all. Cha-cha again. Turn it out. To the left. Take it back now, y'all. 2 hops, 2 hops. 2 hops, 2 hops. Right foot, let's stomp. Left foot, let's stomp. Charlie Brown. Hop it out now. Slide to the right. Slide to the left. Take it back now, y'all. Cha-cha now, y'all. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Dr. Braylock.
All right, all right. Go ahead, do that thing, do that thing.
Dr. Braylock, we want to thank you so much. Woo! For not only that history lesson, but helping us to work off that food that we heard about. And we are coming to a close, and we are asking everyone to stick around. Just give us 5 more minutes, just a little bit. We want to have Dr. Cognac Griffin take this time to introduce probably the newest, like in a couple of seconds, faculty to us here today. And I believe that's Dr. Lucero, but I'll let you do that introduction.
We are so pleased today to introduce Dr. Lucero, who will be joining us hopefully by April or maybe March. He is going to be the new Associate Dean for Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. And we are just thrilled. He's moving across the country to come and be part of our group. And he brings a wealth of experience and knowledge. And I'm going to let him say a few words for hello.
I think I'm unmuted, yeah. So
So that was so much fun. Holy cow. I didn't think I was going to dance today the way that I was feeling. But I have to say, I was thinking about, okay, so what am I going to say here? And one of the things that I was going to say is that I'm like really looking forward to getting to LA and just experiencing all of the culture there. One of the things that keeps on going through my mind is I've got to find a really good jazz bar, to have cocktails, with the faculty and students and just really enjoy ourselves, and so I thought, okay, well, if I'm going to say I want to find somewhere else to dance too and experience all of the artistic diversity there in LA, I better dance. So I got up and danced. So thank you for that, Anita. I just was really happy to be a part of this. I think it's just really great. The foundation that has been set over the last 5 or so years and bringing these student organizations together, having a place for students who are interested in advocating for things that are important to them, I think is really important because it allows for peer support, but also professional development and getting, that support that they need and reinforcement from each other and from the faculty that help support these students. So this was really rich and exciting to see. I can't wait to get there, to get involved with you and really just help us grow and really just be part of the community. I'm super excited. So thanks again for the invitation. I look forward to the next event.
So we have a number of events that we want to invite you to coming up, several, which I'm going to just before we end highlight. I don't think there's time really for me I'll show you a picture, but I'm not really going to talk about it. But before I do that, I'm really thrilled that so many of our community attended today. We have wonderful student representation, faculty and staff. And unlike some other parts of campus, we celebrate together as one community. And I'm so pleased. I know that we have a diversity council that is it really is all different representation. And a lot of other schools don't have that model. So we embrace everyone in this and we have fun together. So I'm just going to share my screen for a minute and highlight a few things. If I can get it up, let's see. And okay. Now, let me go back one. We don't have time to talk about just briefly, this is my cultural discussion, but it's challah, which is typically what we eat on Friday night dinners for the Sabbath. And I grew up eating this every Friday in my life. And then there's latkes, which we use for Hanukkah celebrations, and it's symbolic of Hanukkah, but I don't have time to tell you the story and why. But it's cooked in a lot of oil, which is what represents the oil that was supposed to last one day, lasted 8 days, and that's part of the story of Hanukkah. And you all know what this is, chicken soup. Chicken soup is a Jewish panacea. And my mother made wonderful chicken soup, and I've learned to make it. Matzo balls, not all the time, but if you're sick, you can come to my house and I'll make you some matzo ball soup. And this is just a brief story. In my retirement plans, I wanted to do, most of you might know what a bar mitzvah is. That's a coming of age when you transition as an adult into Judaism at age 13. Bar mitzvah is the boy and bat mitzvah is the girl. B'nai mitzvah is when there's more than one person. And one of my retirement, even though I'm not fully retired, presents to myself was at my old age, I was going to be in a B'nai mitzvah, which is a group bar mitzvah at my temple. And I transitioned into Jewish adult life at the age of 69. And I had to read Hebrew, lead a congregation, and then read the scriptures in the Torah in Hebrew, which was quite the challenge for me. And so that's my little story. And I'm going to go on to the next slide, which highlights some of the events that we are looking forward to in the school ahead. Our gender equality and sports event from past to present is Thursday this month, February 18th from 3 to 4 p.m. We have wonderful sports experts, historical people who really were groundbreakers, and we end with Title IX expert from UCLA. We have soccer represented, basketball, and I want to say softball too. So we have all the different sports, and talking about gender inequality and what happened with Title IX, and even the current day challenges. Caring and sharing, we're going to be doing an event on February 25th, coping with nursing stress during a global pandemic. And this is typically very well attended by students, and it's really to support and give people information and caring about some of the stresses that our student community is, as well as nurses and alumni will be invited to, they're experiencing. The Dismantling Racism series is having its second session on February 24th. And the Dean's Distinguished Lecturer, Dr. Tanda Hughes, will be talking on March 24th, and her area, she'll be talking about from gay bars to marriage equality, building a research career in sexual minority women's health. So we're excited to present all of these programs. If you haven't, or you may have missed the flyer and you're interested in attending, just write me and I will be happy to send you another one. So thank you all for attending. This has been great. I loved all the different presentations and the dancing. And thank you, Dr. Lucero, for joining us, Dean Sonner, and all the students.
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone, for spending this time with us. It is now 1:06, so we want to send you off to have a wonderful rest of the afternoon, and we look forward to seeing you in panel, but soon we will be in person at our next activity. Have a great day, be well, and be safe.
Thank you, Dr. Hamilton.
Thank you, Dr.
everybody.
Hamilton, for leading. That you're leading. You were a wonderful moderator, MC, and you've got to do it again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.